which I wasn't gonna do. Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, it's not that far, and I've done worse. Like I'm sure you have for qualifiers or
Oh
tournaments.
yeah.
It's like sometimes you just gotta suck it up and do it. But I ended up getting a hotel room last night for like $50, like a quality inn,
Hmm.
which I hadn't done that in so long. It felt like back in playing days, like just staying at a
And
random
whatever
hotel
you
room,
find, yes.
and um, and I played golf yesterday too. So I literally, and it's been so hot. Is it hot in
Oh,
uh,
it's
just
crazy.
everywhere?
Yeah, it's crazy. I went to the range yesterday, and by the time I got to my spot on the range, my hands were already so sweaty. It was a disaster.
Yeah, you've been hitting the range hard lately. I've seen you're getting after it.
I try.
Hashtag unretired. Is that
Yes.
the movement we're pushing forward?
And I call it unretired. I unretire myself.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second because I think we're both on that unretirement train. Um, but I'll finish the story real quick. So I get the hotel room. It was actually nice. Like it was a quality inn. Like they're usually okay. But they just renovated like the whole thing. So, but it smelled like paint, which kind of sucked. So I was kind
Mm.
of like, it was like a mixture of cigarettes and paint, which is kind of gross.
Ugh.
But everything was like pretty brand new, so it wasn't too bad. I basically just I picked up In and Out and went to bed. So um, thank God for In and Out. I feel like that's my. There's no In and Outs over there where you are, but
No.
there's been a handful here, which I was surprised by. Actually, I thought it was only a California thing. Um, but anyway, I wake up this morning and I'm driving to the golf course, and I'm like, this course better be sweet. Like I woke up like I've got very little sleep. And I drive in, I'm like, why do I recognize this course? I played it like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only
Oh, no.
course, literally the only course I played in Dallas, and
No.
it was the course she picked, and I'm like,
Of course.
well,
Is it a nice course at least?
um,
Oh, gosh.
I don't want to throw Karen. I don't want to throw Karen under the bus. Hopefully, she won't. She'll probably listen to this episode now because we talked about it a little bit. No, it was fine. We finished really quickly. We were like the first ones off, so we
Yeah.
finished in like 3 hours. Um, this was wild though. There was a group of like, there's a threesome. We had to hop in front of a few people, so we skipped like like the first and second hole,
Hmm.
because we were just a twosome. Like we didn't want to wait behind anybody.
Yeah.
But the group behind us was like a threesome of, I think it was like two guys and a girl, like an Asian family maybe. I don't know why Asian's important to the story, but they were so fast. I've never seen. We finished the front nine. Like we probably teed off at 7, so we finished the front nine at like 8:15, and they were
Oh,
on our
that's
ass
pretty good.
they were on our ass the entire time. I don't think they putted out at all.
Maybe not. Maybe they just got to the green and were like, good, good.
We were playing like, I think Karen hadn't played for 4 months, which was hilarious. She didn't mention this to me at all, and I'm like, what are we playing for?" And she's like, "Well, I haven't been playing at all." I'm like, "Okay." this is
She was
just such
playing for
a
the swings.
this is such a weird turn of events. And I was like 2 or 3 under. I think Karen shot like 1 under or 2 under for not playing at all. Um, she birdied the first hole. I was like, I feel like I was getting hustled all day long. Um, but yeah, we were pushed all day by this group behind us. It was the most wild thing. I've never played golf in like 3 hours and just been immediately pushed by this group.
From behind. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Um, so anyway, I don't know where I was going with that story.
Well, y'all had a fun round, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Good.
but we're trying to get back from retirement. I took like 6 to 8 months off this year, which
Uh-huh.
doesn't seem like that much time. But I never took any time off. Like I basically went from playing professionally straight into the golf industry, where everyone plays golf. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've never taken that time off. Um, is it kind of a similar story to you? Like, you obviously
Well,
have a ton of accolades, and we talked a little bit that you got a little bit burnt out, which I can definitely relate to. Like,
yeah.
what was the catalyst?
Um, well, the catalyst of it all, I think, was just injuries. Nothing crazy, honestly. It was just little injuries all the time. And then with the injuries came I couldn't practice like I wanted to, and then I couldn't play like I wanted to, and then the no money. And then with no money, it was kind of hard funding the lifestyle and all that. And I honestly don't even know. I can't even pinpoint when it happened or how it happened. It just got worse and worse to where there wasn't, sometimes people talk about the itch about going playing and whatnot. And the itch was just not there anymore. It was a job and I didn't like my job. And it wasn't, before it was, I loved it and I loved practicing. And you would have found me, on the golf course for 8 hours. And then someone would have dragged me off the course. And then all of a sudden it was, do I have to?
Right.
you know and so that's when. And then I think a big factor too is a lot of the girls that I'm still friends with and that are playing professionally, they all moved either west to Scottsdale or they moved east/south, from us, at least south, to Florida. And so where I was the only one. I mean, there was, obviously I still had some girls from the team, at Coastal, but they did their own thing. They had their stuff going on. And I had great opportunities in Myrtle Beach. I mean, Myrtle Beach is the golf mecca for golf courses. I mean, it wasn't like I
Right.
didn't have anything set up for me, but it was just me, and it was so lonely. And then
Yep.
eventually, it was just like I got hurt. The last Q school I ever played, I got hurt. I tore my shoulder. And I dropped out of Q school, and then I still played some backswing, and eventually even that, well, backswing I played longer than I really was going to, but I came home from Q school and I was literally like, that's it. I'm never touching a club again. And I really, when I stopped playing backswing, that was in 2019. So now it's 2023. So I didn't touch a club for almost 4 years because
Wow.
it got to the point, even I mean, even people were like, you should teach your daughter, and that's such a great sport. And yeah, it is. But I was like, do not talk to me about golf because I can't. I don't want to talk about it. And
Right.
it was like a bad, I don't know, this is kind of stupid analogy, but it was like a bad breakup with a boyfriend. Like something that you never get over because I couldn't talk about it. And
Right.
no one understood because to everyone it always seemed like I was living the life. I was traveling and I was playing golf. I mean, who plays golf for a living? That kind of thing.
Yep.
And everyone was always like, "Well, I got to do my 9 to 5 job and you get to go on the range and hit balls." I'm like, "Yeah, but you don't understand. Like
Yep.
it comes with bad stuff too." And so I don't know exactly what the point or what happened exactly and when it happened. It just kind of happened over time. Um, and then I think right after when I stopped was even where I kind of more fell into that hole because all of a sudden I didn't know who I was. I mean,
Right.
I was like, what am I going to do with my life? What am
Yep.
I graduated from college with a degree that, I mean, I love, but like everything, my whole life was always set up for me to play professionally. So I didn't really care too much about my degree.
Right.
I mean, I graduated with a 3.8. It wasn't that I wasn't making bad grades. I just didn't get anything that like I loved to where I could use it later on. So then I stopped playing golf and everyone's in these jobs. They're already established. Everyone's making money. And here I am. I'm like, well, what am I going to do?
Right. You got to
You
start over
know?
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it felt like starting over. And I think it was like the burnout of the burnout was me figuring out who am I? Like, who am I without me being this athlete that I was for the last 12, 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that took a long time. It took a lot a lot of soul searching. But and
Yeah.
you know, the crazy thing too is, and I don't know if this is I haven't really put that much thought into it, but I don't know if this is how burnout is. But the way it came and the way it happened is also the way it left me. Um,
Mm.
I got I got inducted into the Hall of Fame of October in 2022, and even then I was like, listen, like I play some tournaments, like some scrambles, I play some, you know what, if I have to. And I love that I got inducted into this, and this has been the greatest honor ever. But I don't think I'm ever going to get back into it. And then all of a sudden, one morning, I was like, I think I should, I think I should go hit some. And so I went on the range, and here in Florence, we got, you know, we got two golf courses. We got one public one and one country club. And so I just went to the public one. I just got a bucket of balls and I hit some range balls, and it was hot. It was not a good day. But I got to the car and I was like, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. And so I texted my coach and I was like, hey coach, I think I'm healed. And from there on out, I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything different. I didn't My clubs were still in the closet at that point. No one pressured me. At that point, honestly, everyone gave up on me in golf because they were like, well, if it's been this long, we've tried, you know. And then but I think that was it. I think it was that it was me and not everyone else trying to get me back into something. And honestly, I was talking to coach about this and I said, look, I know it sucked and I know I was gone and I know I stepped away from it and I know a lot of people wanted me to stay in it, but I think it was important that I stayed away and that I went through it and that I decided to come back, because if someone would have pushed me, I don't think I would have ever loved it again. I just would have tolerated it. And I think that was so, yeah. But I can't tell you why it happened in the first place. I can't tell you why I came back, but I'm back. So, well, good.
I think you hit on a exactly the reason I started this podcast is because, especially on the women's side, but even on the men's side, there's not a whole lot of understanding on how hard it is to. You're basically a traveling salesman working on commission, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no commission. That's and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of what you
Yeah,
had
correct.
just mentioned is
Correct.
exactly what I went through. Like it's very difficult, and I think a lot of it too is just overall perspective that you can't really time or you can't really gain. It just kind of has to happen. Um,
Right.
the I'm a big believer in fate, and every single podcast episode I've done since we started has followed my mindset, if that makes sense, as I've been doing this. Like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you bring this up and that I was in a hotel room last night for the first time, like by myself, since I basically played pro, it brings back a lot of those memories where it's
Mm-hmm.
like that was one of the things that was hardest for me when I was, trying to make it out there was the downtime. You're by yourself 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky enough to find friends that are doing the same thing, like the best events I had were the ones that I was with somebody and you're kind of filling that in between time.
Right.
And because you can't be thinking about golf all the time. Like your brain needs to retract once in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think where you and I are very similar. Like I had built up this same thing. Like golf was it for me. That was all ever wanted, and I never had a backup plan. Like I had a degree, but same thing is like I didn't really care what it was as long as I had a degree and I could figure it out later. Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. I don't know who really uses their degree anymore. I don't feel like it's a thing.
Right.
But the exact same thing happened to me. Like and I wish we can't go back, but if I could do it differently, I wish I took 6 months off after I graduated from college just to give myself time to recover, like almost grieve, like you said,
Mhm.
over an ex uh, that you just couldn't get over, because like
Yeah.
it's very similar because you built up this thing in your mind of this is what I've worked. I mean, it's kind of funny to say, but you basically work your whole life to get to a certain point, right?
Mhm.
And if you don't achieve it, you're like, well, shit, now what?
Mhm.
Like my experience was basically I wanted to win a national championship. That was the only thing on my mind the entire time I was in school. And it only became a thing because a teammate of mine in high school won their national championship at he went to Cal State Monterey Bay. So he was like 2 years older than me. And I
Mhm.
think that's right when like Instagram started coming out and we started getting this FOMO and seeing how everyone else is living their lives. And I see a guy that I was beating in high school win their national championships. Like, well, he just set the bar. That's exactly what I have to do now.
Yeah.
And, I took it really, really hard. My senior year, we were number one in the nation for 16, 17 weeks. We had the number one player in the country. Um, and our team was just gelling. Like, we basically had like my freshman class was the senior class. Like, we were all working towards that last year. We all knew it was like our last chance. So I
Mhm.
think that's why we played so well. And I just shit the bed all 4 rounds. Like,
Oh
there
no.
was not, I don't know what it was. I think I know I changed something in my putting like the week before, and I wish I
Yeah.
hadn't. But I had a round going the last round, like the fourth round, I figured something out. And I remember I had like 5 holes to go. If I basically played in around 1 over, we win the national championship by like four.
Mhm.
I ended up finishing like 4 over on those
Oh.
last five.
Oh no.
And I spent the next year, probably longer. It probably still is in my brain somewhere to this day, but I blame myself for not winning that for basically the
Mhm.
next year. Like, I had a
Mhm.
girlfriend at the time. She, bless her heart, she was not surviving that relationship after that. I was basically like breaking up with you, not talking to anybody, for
Breaking up with everyone.
just breaking up with the world. Like, I just
Yeah.
didn't. And I somehow decided to like play in events, but it was like my mind was not even. I wasn't a golfer at that point. Like, I
Mhm.
basically, and going into like traveling and being by yourself, I just spiraled. And
Mhm.
but I think I forced myself the last, let's see, basically since December. Like, I might have played a couple of things like scrambles or random things
Yeah.
so people know I can play golf. I might be asked to play in a couple things here and there, but comparatively speaking to like how you and I were playing golf 8 hours a day every single day,
Mhm.
doesn't even feel like I've touched a club for from December to basically until like 3 weeks ago. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who was it that a buddy of mine in Austin came back. He plays on the Canadian tour, so he came back, and I had somebody to play with, somebody that was good, and I played a golf with him, and I think that spurred me on a little bit. Is like, I can keep up with this guy. Like, this guy plays golf every day, and I'm still like halfway decent. So maybe I should. Um, but I think too, it's like it's an identity thing at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
I
For
felt
sure.
like I was missing, and it was the same thing. I would go hit balls. Like, I hate practicing. I still do. I'm not a practicer. I'd rather go play. Like, if you told me tomorrow, let's go play 72 holes, I'd rather do that than go
Mhm.
hit balls in the range for an hour. I'm just not that
Yeah.
guy. But I just went one day. I wish it was not so hot out here. It's so brutal. You got to wake up at like 6 a.m. just to
Yeah.
feel somewhat normal.
Normal. Yeah.
But I just went and hit balls, and I think maybe the heat. and you might have this too. Like I have injuries, I still do. I think the heat helps a little bit, but taking that time off is like, oh, things that used to hurt don't hurt as much, or don't
Mm-hmm.
hurt at all. Um, Even playing with Karen today, like I have definitely invested in some recovery items, which if anyone's watched this podcast could probably just follow my recovery my recovery list, my Amazon recovery list.
You should tag it
Um,
somewhere.
I need to be sponsored by like Hyperice at this point.
Yeah.
Um, or they're that would be stupid on their part because I'm gonna buy their stuff anyway. Um, but I have like this back wrap that you might have seen if you watch like basketball players use it a lot. It's like heated and vibrates. It's
Uh-huh.
a godsend. I'm literally looking at it across the room. It's over there, but I'm not going to grab it. But I'll put that on like before every round now. I
Oh,
put it on
really?
this morning. Yeah, I don't even need to warm up with that thing. It
That's
gets
funny.
it gets really hot. It looks really weird. It looks like I'm wearing a waist trainer. But it's amazing, and um, I don't remember where I was going with that. But I think just having those things now, like how's your I love your swing, by the way. I don't
Oh, thank you.
I saw something you were like, maybe just because you're getting the bug and you're trying to tinker with stuff, but you're like, you were talking about like your elbow position or something, and
Yeah,
your roll
I was
point.
getting too tight with my elbows and I didn't have space to move forward and then they were all like either push fades or drop hooks. So I was trying to
Yeah.
get back onto swing plane. But the question, sorry, I kind of interrupted you. The question was what?
Like how does your game feel, like your swing now, compared to like do you think, like, how's the shoulder thing, like, do you have any
Pretty
pain now or you're good?
pretty good, honestly. I did a lot of rehab right after. So honestly, I don't have anything that I could blame it on now. Um, but surprisingly, my swing, I've always been a really good ball striker. My swing has always been really good.
Mm.
If there's anything that I can trust on the course, it's my swing. The thing that gives me trouble and has always given me trouble is my short game. But my swing, it feels pretty good. I play with coach every now and then still, and then I, 2 under through 5 or something. I'm like, maybe I should try. And then I make a 3 putt or something. I'm like, yeah, bro, there you go. Probably not. But no, we always have this funny story at Coastal. I mean, coach always said that when she found me, I was a really bad putter. And at the end of my college career, I was an average putter. But she would always say that, like, if the green was hard, to just hit it in from the fairway. And so we went to this tournament, and I think it was Mississippi. I think we played Ole Miss or something. And there was no bathrooms on the course, and I had to pee so bad. I mean, I can't even tell you. I probably couldn't even hold my club, and I had to just pee. And coach was like, "Well, just make it." And I was like, "I mean, you think?" And she said, "Yeah, just make it." And so I was like, "Okay." And so I think I hit it from 118 yards, and I just made it. And then I just walked off to the bathroom. I said, "I'll see you later." So yeah, my swing is,
Deuces, I'm
yeah,
out.
my swing is always pretty trustworthy, thankfully, which is
I
good
think
for scrambles and whatnot.
I think I've played some of my best golf where I need to go to the bathroom. There's
Yeah.
something about the urgency
Uh-huh. That you just
that
need to
you
make it. Yep.
yeah. We had a teammate who is actually going to be on the podcast tomorrow. We're going to do a teammate podcast, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think this might backfire on me.
Oh gosh.
they're no, they're good. They're my best friends, but
Are they going to dig
I
out some secrets?
I yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But I got the same amount of dirt on them. So,
Oh
um,
gosh.
and I've got a few more podcasts under my belt. So we'll see. We'll see how their nerves do. But we had a teammate who at a certain point, we just basically ask him like how many bathroom breaks he would take, because the better he would play, usually he had to go. It wasn't really. It was the other way around. Like he would
Hmm.
just get excited, and I think he had the bladder of a squirrel. So
Nervous pee.
he would he would go. Yeah, I remember whenever, if for some reason I didn't make the team, I'd go watch, and I would just watch him go play. He was our best player at the time, and if he ever disappeared, he was in the bushes, like going to the bathroom. Like there's there's a period of time where it was at Red Hill Country Club, I think. Doesn't really matter where, but he went to the bathroom like 4 holes in a row. I'm like, dude, what is left in there?
Oh
Like,
no.
how is there anything left? You're just you're just dry heaving at. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it,
No.
but it was pretty impressive though. Like he could have maybe made a circus show out of
Oh
it.
gosh.
Anyway, that was a little bit
That's
more
funny.
R-rated than you're probably hoping for. Um, but we'll go. I think we'll go into some shotgun spinner questions here in a second.
Sure.
But one thing I want to bring up, is it a family affair now? You're now a mom. Like,
Uh-huh.
is give me a little bit of an idea of how maybe that's changed your perspective, now that you have a little one that you got to take care of.
Yeah. Um, so, the whole break thing that I had going on, the whole burnout thing that I had going on. I was convinced I would never give her a club because I just didn't want her to potentially, the slightest even go through what I went through.
Mhm.
But now I'm at the point where I'm like, I want to teach her, and I think it's a great family sport. I mean, it's fun bringing her out. Right now, she's 2. It's a little dangerous. We got her a little putter, and the windows and anyone's shins are not safe. So we're going to keep that in the closet for maybe another year. But she'll get it. I mean, she'll get her clubs eventually. She'll learn it, and if she loves it, she loves it. If she don't, then she don't. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um, I don't know what it's been with me lately. It's maybe I'm just getting older, but I keep noticing like how babies are interact, or I just keep seeing them. It's like when you, um, maybe this is a bad analogy, but there was a like in college this would happen all the time. If there was a girl that I had a crush on, I would see her all the time. It's like your brain.
you're saying
your,
you're seeing all the babies.
I don't know why. It's babies and puppies right now. I don't know
Oh
why.
gosh,
I don't know. I'm just getting older, I
you're
think,
getting
and
old.
I've been single for too long, so I think it's just like, or it could be the fact that every time I talk to my mom, she brings it up in conversation. So
That
um,
probably too.
that's
Moms
probably
have
it.
that little superpower.
Yeah, I'm the last resort for our family, which she
Oh no,
reminds me of all the time. So, um,
no pressure, no
no,
pressure.
no pressure. Just wake up with nightmares of babies all the time. No, I think it's my my brother-in-law is now a grandpa, so I think that's part of it too. Is now we have a baby in the picture, but it's from his daughter. So
Right.
and and then I was around a bunch of dogs over the weekend, so it just the brain plays funny tricks, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
I hear you.
but let's get into some shotgun spinner questions. So
I'm kind of nervous.
for you've made it this far.
Okay.
You're crushing it.
Okay. Good.
Most of our guests have tapped out by this point. No, well, for our listeners out there, we have a segment on our show called Shotgun Spinners, where we basically have a bunch of topics that are on a little Wheel of Fortune type spinner. We're going high tech this week because I am working remotely. Didn't bring, I guess I could have. I drove here. I just kind of ran out the door, but we're going to do this electronically. So we're going to hit the button here on the spinner and see what it lands on. I kind of did a short one. Let's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 topics instead of the normal 14. So we're doing a
Okay.
halfer, but I think we'll be all right. Let me see.
So this being a shotgun something, am I shotgunning something? Am I shotgunning my water? What am I doing? Or am I just answering?
You're the first person to ever say that, and I'm
I'm just kidding.
I don't hate the idea.
I got my water. I got my Stanley cup here, so we can shotgun some water.
um, you girls are honestly some of my best like brainstormers ever.
I think you should do it.
Lexi a few weeks ago gave me like the round table idea where we just throw a microphone in the middle of the table and just let you girls go at it,
Ooh,
um,
fun.
which might just be chaos.
No,
But
we're good.
I kind of
We're organized.
I kind of thrive in chaos though, so I kind of want to see what happens. Um, yeah, the shotgun spinner name was really some we came out with it on like our fourth episode, and I was just trying to think of something to call it, and I don't know. I think I was just joking with Rachel at the time, and her episode was so like you thought our episode was last minute. Like she was literally like, "I'm ready now," and I'm like, "I don't have anything prepared," and I bought the spinner on Amazon. I literally put it together before the episode, like basically during the
That's
episode.
funny.
So I don't mind that idea. We'll do it the next time. I might make you girls start shotgunning beers or something.
You'll
Um,
have to have me back if we shotgun
let's
something.
see. Okay, after some technical difficulties, we have figured out the spinner. Let's give it a run. Okay, first memory. So, just your first memory on the golf course. What comes to mind?
Oh gosh, that's a long time ago. My first memory on the golf course. I think it's my first tournament, and it was like the course I grew up on. We had a little 9 hole course, and I think the longest hole was like 100 yards, maybe. Um, and I think my vivid first memory was just how nervous I was on that first tee, and then playing it and just doing fairly well. I think we all got a participation medal, so it didn't really count for anything. But just remembering coming off the course and just being like, this was the coolest thing ever. I think that,
Yeah,
yeah, that's and then like a big memory is like the first ever German championship we won with like one of our development teams. That's like engraved. That'll be in there forever.
very cool. That's something
Yeah.
feel like I don't know enough about. Like, it's something that is definitely not as big on the American side, is having like
Mm-hmm.
a national team.
Uh-huh.
What was that? What was that experience like? Is it similar to like a college feel? Is it more individual?
Yeah, and I think honestly that's a big reason why I thrived so much in college too, because all I ever did was play on a team. Golf in Europe is rarely, I mean, we do have individual tournaments. We got like, individual European championships and whatnot, and like other junior golf events, but a lot of it is just on a team. And you travel with the team, you got your coaches. And so I think that the whole team atmosphere, whether it's the development team or the German national team or anything, is just amazing, and I just absolutely love it. I mean, if there was more team stuff over here, if there was a more team base for golf over here, I'd be all for that. I'd probably
Yeah.
play professional again tomorrow. But I think that's why I loved college so much. It's just because it reminded me so much of that, and we all were playing for one greater good and like for one goal.
Right, right. It's something I've talked about on the podcast in the past. I feel like I don't know how you pull this off, which, is not really the point of the theory, but I feel like there is an avenue where you could turn pro as a team after college. So you do it. It's kind of how you see it in like the NFL or NBA
Mhm.
is like it's a pretty clear path from college to playing pro. But I think it
Mhm.
would get more people involved, and it would be something actually more viable than like the PGA Tour or Live Golf or any of that stuff because I think team golf is way better to watch
Oh yeah.
if you do it the right way. And I think people get it. This is where I think Live kind of lost it.
Mhm.
Is they have that team aspect, but nobody gives a shit about these teams. It's like,
Yeah.
and the teams are the cheesiest names and the logos I've ever seen. So it's like, and that's something that obviously they have a ton of money, so they're playing for the money.
Right.
But I think that's how you get people, and this is high praise to the PGA Tour, that they've been able to really push forward narratives of their different golfers, and they do a
Right.
really good job of presenting it.
Mhm.
Where, yeah, I think there needs to be more narratives towards team golf. Like we basically my freshman class, we were in D3, so it's a little different. But if you go to a D1 school, I would guarantee most of them are trying to play pro after they play in college. So if you
Mhm.
have an avenue where it's like this senior class can go, on to the next stage and try to qualify as a team, and you have individual on top of that, it gives another avenue for golfers to like keep going.
Right.
And you don't have maybe there is a bit of a letdown. I would imagine there is after college because you are
Mhm.
for 4 years you're going to the same. I mean, I guess it depends on the team dynamic. We were
Yeah.
fortunate enough to
Right.
have a very very solid team dynamic.
Yeah. And so was
Um,
I.
yeah, so I would say in most cases you have to have any sort of success, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know. Somebody reach out to me, buy me out, buy this idea out.
Well,
Let's get it rolling because it's about time we had some team golf out there
exactly.
that
And
makes
I
more
think
sense.
that's why people love the Ryder Cup. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't think, people love watching them play individually, and people love watching Tiger, and maybe Tiger's a little bit different because he's such a like icon, but
yeah,
like you won't see anyone wearing a Jordan Spieth shirt with like his name on the back, but you'll see people wearing the colors for the Ryder Cup,
right.
because they associate with it. And so I do think there's an avenue for it. I do think it would be fun. I definitely, team sports sell. People love the team sports.
Yeah, I mean it's just you have something behind it already. You have your
Mm-hmm.
flag behind it already,
For sure.
right? You have something to connect with.
Yeah.
I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, but that's just because my dad was one. Like there's
Correct.
everyone has random reasons, but then you put everyone wants to be patriotic for the most part, I would say. You're
Mm-hmm.
almost like looked at weirdly if you're not rooting for
If
your
you're not,
country,
yeah, correct.
right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we have a Ryder Cup coming up, which
I will have to. Yeah,
your
it'll
European
be
team's
Europe.
not looking too good.
I know,
I don't.
but they'll win. They'll come through. They'll weasel through like always, and we'll
There's
get it.
no there's no way they win. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's not happening. I looked at the roster the other day. I didn't recognize half the names.
Well, listen, it's always easier for an underdog. It's always easier catching up than holding it all
No,
together.
I think let's make a friendly wager.
Okay.
What's the bet? It's not happening. I'm sorry, but what's what's the bet?
You tell me. You tell me.
um, I think easiest thing is push-ups if your shoulder can take it.
Sure, I got you. I do
So
10.
you'll do 10.
Uh,
You gotta
yeah.
do more than that. Um, let's see. Loser has to do push-ups until they collapse?
So 10.
Okay. Well,
Okay, that's fine.
that
I'll,
backfired.
I will. I will. I look forward to your video.
This is gonna be a boring video because I actually do push-ups like every day. So my max is gonna soft brag. My max is not. I'm gonna have to time lapse it because my max is gonna be boring to watch.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Can you tell? Obviously. Let's go. Let's go into the next question.
Okay. You should add the little spinning sound to it.
Can you hear it?
Mm-mm.
I don't think. Okay, so it's playing. It might play off the recording I'm doing.
Cool.
I can add it in editing. I can.
Okay.
I'll just. You can just make the
Well,
sound, and I'll put your voice in
good.
there. So this is. Who was it? Somebody came by. So my little spinner had an attachment that would it would catch on the wheel.
Yeah.
But the first episode I did, it was so loud in the recording, so I removed it. But I think what I did in the process was like it goes to the same topics all the time. It's
Oh no.
probably rigged. Anyway, maybe I should just do it electronically. It's fancier this
Yeah.
way. So the topic is recovery. So now with all this experience we have all this perspective, and there's so many things now. I feel like it's like we kind of talked about it before. I have to go everywhere with a massage gun, or because it's so hot, like cold plunges
Mm-hmm.
are a must. Do you have anything right now that you're kind of like either added to your repertoire or have done for a long time now?
Not really. If anything, I mean, something I get consistently is massages, just like to keep the shoulder and the back the right way. But that's something I think is so important is to factor in recovery.
Yeah.
And I do think that I wasn't factoring it in as much as I should have, and it probably backfired quite a bit on me. Just because you get caught up, you travel, you don't have time, and then what's the first thing that you're going to take time away from is probably recovery because everything else seems so much more important. Um, but as far as like routines, I mean, when I was playing full time professionally, I had the full routine going on with icing and heat and stem and massages. And so, yeah, I mean, there was a full lineup, but now maybe a massage here and there. My body's
Have
not.
you have you got your daughter trained? Like, is she the one giving you the massages now, or are you going?
She'll like cannonball onto my back. No, no, she
you
is
gotta get her
not.
trained up.
Yeah, no, she's not trained up. I don't think I'll. No, I have a great girl in town. She does amazing.
Nice. Yeah, there's
But
something to be said
also,
for massages.
yeah, for sure. And also, that's something different too. So, kind of going back into me starting in Europe and starting in Germany, the teams. So when we traveled with the team, I mean, we had a full lineup with us. We got massages every night after the round. We had our physical therapist with us. We got our backs cracked every day. I mean, and
Nice.
it was amazing. And then in college you have it, but like once you go to a tournament, then it's on you, unless
Right.
until you come home and you do your rehabs and whatnot. But that's also something. The team, got a whole team.
Yeah, you had a different experience than I did.
Yeah.
I don't think the dudes were getting group massages. Although maybe at better programs they were.
I mean,
We would have.
I never
Go
got
ahead.
massages at Coastal either. Like it was like something outside of Coastal. I'm just saying that like in
Right.
Europe, you have your whole physical
Right.
therapist team with massage therapists and whatnot.
Right. We had a local chiropractor that loved the team for some reason. Who I definitely he would not charge us, which was awesome. Which I definitely miss. Like chiropractors are so
Hmm.
overpriced here. I
Yeah.
I reached out to somewhere local, and they're like, "Oh, it'll be $250 for your first assessment, and then like another 200 every every session after that." I'm like, "Bro, I've been going to chiropractors since I was 16 years old. Like, if I could, I would do it to myself. Like, get
Yeah.
just like don't give me the. I don't need the assessment. I don't need any of your fancy stuff. Just give me your
I,
worst chiropractor, or
and you just
like,
need to crack my back.
yeah, like I can even tell you what I know exactly what works for me. Just give me your
That's funny.
hands. I'll show you what I need.
Where?
And
Yeah.
yeah, um, the day that they have at home chiropractic classes is when all those people lose their jobs. I have a couple friends that are chiropractors and I love them, but they could. I mean, whenever I would see them, it's like what 3 minutes per customer,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what they need. Like, that's a pretty good return on investment
Yeah,
for
for
them.
sure.
Like, or that's probably the wrong term, but I think you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
do
picking
I
up what
do
you're
miss the,
putting down.
yeah, I do miss the massages. I have not. I used to have a place I could walk to, which was called Happy Head Happy Head Massages. Worst name ever. Um, and they had a disclaimer that it wasn't one of those places, but
Did they really?
they it's like the first thing on their website because they get the question all the time. I'm like, why don't you
Oh
just
my
change the
gosh.
name? But
Exactly.
it's
Just
also
rebrand.
no. I guess it's that thing like or no press is
Bad
bad
press is
press.
no,
Yeah,
bad press is good press.
yeah, whatever. But I remember their name, right? So
There you go.
must be doing something right.
And now it's on the
Um,
podcast for everyone to hear. So
yeah,
now they're getting a bunch of business.
yeah. This episode is brought to you by Happy Head Massages, um, where you get a different kind of happy ending. No,
Oh,
it's not.
okay.
It's not that kind of place. It's like a Asian. It's like an Asian massage place. Like you know, if you wanted to, you can go just sit in the chair, kind of a place.
Mhm.
I never do that. I do like a normal massage, but it's like normally priced too, and I could walk to it. It was great.
Nice.
But anyway, let's. Do you have time for one more, or are you
Yeah, sure.
sick of me asking you
No,
questions?
I'm good.
I'm sick of hearing my own voice at this point. Um, it's all good. I've gotten used to it,
I was gonna say you should be used to it by now.
dude. Karen told me I had a 40-year-old voice today.
I
I'm not
don't
sure how
even.
to
I mean,
react to that.
if you told me, tell me what a 40-year-old voice sounds like. I don't.
All right, so it landed on goals, which is a good way to sum up this episode, I think. And this might not be something you even thought about yet, but do you have any short-term goals, long-term goals? I think the last couple weeks or so, your smolder game is like on point. So I don't know if you have any goals, like trying to get back into the modeling
Get my
game.
shoulder.
Dude, your smolder game, like my phone just got hot as immediately as I saw your post the other day.
Okay. Okay. Um, Goals. I don't really know, honestly. I feel like I just kind of arrived back at it and I don't really know. I'm kind of taking it one day at a time, kind of seeing where it leads me.
Yeah,
I'd love to grow the game in some form or the other, so we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. I think I'm on the same page. I've been trying to just put one foot in the front of the other and just have a bunch of good days in a row and just see what happens. They can't all be good days, but I think I that's the only goal I've set myself for right now. I wasn't really a like video taker when I was playing. Like I wouldn't really look at my swing, and I'm trying to be better about that. So maybe
You
that's my
should.
goal for the period for the it's kind of the same thing as listening to myself on the podcast though. I'm getting kind of tired of watching myself swing. Um, dude, it's
Yeah.
I
You
luckily I
can
have a
never have
tripod.
too many swing videos.
I beg to differ. It, your your swing I can watch all day long, and maybe binged it a couple times this week already. But the thing about me, I'm not a selfie guy. Like I can't look at myself. I also don't know what angle to do. I'm just not a selfie guy. Not that a swing video is like the same thing, but like even if you gave me like your tips on how to do my best Zoolander face, I don't think I could do it. Like I'm not. I mean
It's practice.
I'm pretty on paper. I'm not pretty in practice. Like it's just I don't know.
That's okay. That's
I
okay.
have a what's that saying? Like I have a face for radio. Um,
Oh gosh.
it's why
Yes.
it's why
I've
it's
heard
why
that before.
it's why I do a podcast.
There you go.
But it's a video podcast, so I don't know. I'm hat fishing everyone apparently. So which
I'm I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Maybe you should do one without a hat and then we can establish the hat fishing. Or you just like
I've done
always
plenty of
had.
them. You just don't watching it. See, this is the problem. I don't get any views when I don't wear a hat. So
Oh,
what do you I don't know
wear
what
the
to
hat.
do.
Wear the hat.
See,
Just do
wear the
it.
hat.
You gotta wear the hat.
Um, there is actually I'm totally joking, by the way. I get the same amount of views whether I get a hat, wear a hat or not. I think most of the listeners are more interested in you girls than they're interested in me. Which is I'm the same way. I'm more interested in you guys than I'm interested in me. Um, but there is a going trend which is very funny. So the last episode, I wore a pair of sunglasses, which I've worn a couple times, and I don't know why I wear them. Sometimes I just feel like it. But those episodes do better. I can't tell you why.
So
Maybe
what you're
because
telling
they're
me
reflective.
is what you're telling me is that this episode's gonna suck because you're not wearing sunglasses.
So
Okay.
this could be the test.
Okay.
If you've gotten to this point, listeners, please hit that please hit that subscribe button. No,
Yeah. Please comment below.
please comment below. Um, I've only done it 3 or 4 times, so I don't know. I think we throw on some of your smolder in there in the promos. This will be number one episode by far, no problem.
23,000 views.
Yeah, we need to. Um, maybe that can be part of the competition. Who can have the most listens on the podcast right now?
Yeah.
Right now, it's Rachel Jones. So you guys have some competition. You guys are gonna have
All
to
right.
see. There's another contest which I kind of quit on because Shelby hasn't been on any episode. Um, and I still have the prize that we're supposed to give away. So yeah, might have to revisit that one. But
Might have to redo that one.
yeah, I kind of stopped it because I don't want people to win this contest. So this is another prize for anyone that's gotten to this point in the episode. So there is a video out there somewhere on YouTube. I think it was made 16 years ago now of me dancing. I made a dance video in like middle school. So Shelby has been trying to find it. I don't think she's found it. She would have told me by now she's found it. I think I'm the only one that knows it exists. It's still on
Oh
YouTube. I
gosh.
saw it like a couple weeks ago. So for anyone listening, go try to find it. Go try to help Shelby out. And I was gonna give away an LACC US Open hat, but nobody cares to find it, and I don't really want you
I'll
guys to
find
find
it.
it. No, it's okay. No, I don't want anyone to find it because I might be the end of the podcast.
Or it might just skyrocket after that one.
Yeah,
It just depends on your moves.
I don't know. It's not. Yeah, they're not very good. I don't have any. I don't have any training, so Well, Lena, thanks so much for being on the podcast. I think we've limited the amount of brain cells I was allowed to use today. Um, for the listeners out there, go ahead and check us out on Spotify, Apple Music. We are also on YouTube. Anywhere else we're out there. We will catch you guys on the next episode of Off the Collar. See you then.
Bye.
This has been Off the Collar, powered by Backswing Golf Events.